Hey there, fellow researchers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, the Voidborn. Episode 4, Hacking Relays for a Gravcore. An 8-year-old child. Are you a Starjack? Oh my god, you're a Starjack. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The virus slickers are trying to kill you? What is my takeoff timer? 3 days? Yeah, we're about to get a Star Kid, I think. So you guys do want me to get machining, copy that. And I am going to help this Starjack child. But I am going to wait until the maximum timer for accepting. Because I want my engines to cool down as much as possible. So his best is a skill of 2. Oh, knowing that he is asking for help, we're also going to want some school desks. Like, I don't really have the capacity to teach much at the moment. But blackboard, 3 blackboards in a row. Yeah, that's totally meta. So let's have Lisk here try to source the wood. This tundra don't have a lot of trees, though. That's for sure. What's his mining at now? 5? Oh, he just hit 5. Sweet. I've come far in 2 hours? Yeah, I'm certainly trying to. So, I'm gonna guess a bunch of wasters are chasing this kid, and we're gonna have to deal with that. I also might want to make some warmer clothing, because we're headed to colder climates. Although, it's entirely reasonable to have him shipbound. Now, the only issue with that is his education is probably going to require him to be out in nature. So, forcing him to be shipbound is, like, not ideal. As far as his nature running and cloud watching and other education requirements goes. The quest is 4 hours away. Where are you going? Elk hunting? There's a lot of components on this east side. 1, 2, 3 spots for it. I am going to temporarily put a stay of hunting. Just because I want people closer to home. So, Lisk. Keep cutting those trees. And accept. Well, this is the first raffle for a of the stream so far. Didn't think I was going to get a Starjack this early. I got really lucky that it was a Starjack asking for help, but like hell yeah. Again, a little reminder, the rules of the series is that it is Starjack only, so we're only adding Starjacks. So if you ain't a Starjack, you ain't joining. But Park, or Pack QE, happens to be a Starjack, a neurotic Starjack who can potentially cook. Little issue. He does not believe in our ideology. So, rules as they are means this little boy is going to be imprisoned. Feel really, really terrible about that, to be honest. But, rules aren't fudged. They're followed. So, we will restrict him to the home. And then, give him old brainwash arrest. But we'll try to convert him quickly. And, again, he had some sort of threat follow him. And given that it says virus slickers here, it's almost guaranteed that it's a bunch of pirate wasters coming, because you know that's how quests work. So all of this classroom stuff is obviously going to be far more useful. Hey, can you eat with the table, please? Far more useful once he's, Oh, Jesus, he's already cooking. He's, you know, formerly joined us. So Lisk and Rylus have a 100% chance to arrest. I'm going to have Rylus do it because Lisk is going to be his warden. Sorry, kiddo. Truly. So other things we could do for him is a wall lamp in there, a table, and a chair. It's going to be rather cramped, but like, needs to happen. Where are the chairs? Oh, I could also start doing armchairs too. I think an armchair is a very reasonable thing to have on a research bench. So we'll get one made. And you are going to be converted. Lisk. If I convert certainty reduction 21%. That's a good chunk. And now you're down to 20%. Yeah, this won't take long. Nice, the other chem-gen is up. I'll actually fuel it. I'll fuel it, but I'll keep it offline. It's gonna ruin his growth? I mean, you know, maybe, but he needs to do it. Food binge. Okay, at least you're not going to insult people. Why'd you have to step on the chair I was building, though? Like, of all places to step. So this armchair excellent is going to be about 100% comfort, 99% close enough, and that should help keep Rylus happy. I'll build the table outside because it's going to be annoying if you keep stepping on it inside. And I'll just move it. Rylus. I don't want you wardening. Well, actually, you know what? Do it. He's converting really fast. And then we'll be able to, put him back on the crew. I think he went from 70-something% to 19% in a day. like, children are very easy to convert. Plus, he's neurotic, so that helps too. Certainty loss. We also believe in, they believe in apostasy. Okay, well, that's a flip side. So he believes in true creed, which is proselytizing. So it's really funny, taste of your own medicine going on right now. I did say I was going to link these things, and I did just hear that. So, your name is now Gideon. Or Jairus. I don't know which one. Maybe both. If you want to just, like, ping me about a name you'd prefer, let me know. Gid is fine. Gideon or Gid? Gideon works. For me. Alright, we are now generating lots of extra wattage. Your first raffle ever? Well, I'm happy for you. I love seeing fresh names. It means that I'm doing right by my community. So I don't know when the threat chasing him will arrive, but it's probably going to hit us before 2.3 days, and I'm a little worried that it's going to be an overwhelming number of them. Time will tell. Oh, you've been eating the ambrosia, huh? Your food binge is more than just a food binge, I see. Another thing would be nice to have is like a light in the kitchen. I don't even have the steel for it. Are there ruins? Not really. Not within a reasonable walk. So, I guess ruin breaking them down is not a thing we'll do today. Or for this tile. Raid's taking its time? Yeah, there's not like a specific timer of like T minus whatever. When it's just a generalized threat, sometimes it takes a very long time for them to arrive. But this kid is going to be converted like next conversation and then just released. We don't have to break resistance because he was of our colony. So just releasing him, he'll rejoin. Here we go. This is probably it. There it is. And release. Cool. We'll have the was imprisoned, which is not awesome, but, you know, it's just the way it is. In terms of childcare, Rylus, you are going to be in charge of that. Because Lisk has the Space Explorer backstory and, like, doesn't. I don't think I trust this kid to cook yet. But I will allow him to, like, craft. Which is a little sketchy, because that... I think he's going to be the ship cleaner. Crafting means, like, making chem fuel. I don't really know if I trust him. He's 9 already? Wait, when's your birthday? Was it today? Oh, no! You were arrested on your birthday! Oh, God. I'm sorry. Happy birthday, you little bastard! I don't know if he's an actual bastard. Maybe he has family somewhere else, but... Whoopsie! Swab the deck. Exactly. So he's got a synth-red parka and a romper. If we take a look at his needs, it's nature running and floor drawing. Floor drawing is really easy, but nature running is going to require him to have free access. So I think what I want to do is I don't want him wandering off too far. So I'm going to create a zone, a restriction zone for him everywhere we go. It's going to be annoying, but it's going to keep him closer to the ship. Because if he wanders off too far, he could very easily die to predators or something similar. And I think it's best if, you know, we don't feed the kid to great wolves or whatever. Alright, we still have need of fuel for the fuel tanks. And then Lisk finally got over his food binge. And if you're wondering why he's had a lot of mental breaks, it's because he is too smart. So he has a higher mental break threshold. This is to compensate for the fact that, like, he needs to be good at mining and plants, but, like, there's, you know, he's also one of our ideological leaders as the quartermaster, so he has higher expectation needs. And Coalition of Buoy. I don't think this was the threat coming for young Gideon. But, Gideon, you are going to be on ship lockdown. The southern group has a bunch of grenades and a machine pistol. As long as they dodge the grenades, it should be okay. But, this group, I'm slightly more worried about. This one. Because I don't have cover yet. His name's Slob. And then these guys... The coalition that they showed up from is the Rough Pig Union, so they're all going to be pigskins. Ouch. Icy got clipped. And they dropped a good auto pistol. Lisk, trade up. Devil Strand Parka. Hot damn. Dude came stacked. All right. So you are slow because you have a bad back. Dumpy and Stout. And Dumpy is the one with the gun, but I don't really want them throwing grenades around my base. So killing Dumpy is going to be important, but let's drive him out of his cover. Because, yeah, they're, like, bashing things. Come on. Take a step forward. You have to. Because I can dodge frag grenades. That's not too hard. Stop hitting my stuff. And these guys are showing up with flak. Alright. That dummy is dead, and he should flee as soon as that one's dead. There we go. Squee! Got a Molotov, got a frag grenade. Got another machine pistol. Same quality as Rylos's, so it doesn't really matter. And then Icy certainly logged a whole bunch of murders. Or witnessing, at least. Which is going to keep her happy. That was a full clear. Everybody that fought us died. Rylos and Lisk. And Icy, good job. Schedule. Gideon's free. And then we have pack meals. So, about the pack meals, because they don't spoil, I'm going to edit our meal plan here, and this is going to be no packaged meals. Don't eat hay or kibble either, or corpses or whatever. I'll just call this meals. And I'll make other food policies on demand. I kind of like that, like, RimWorld supplies all these, like, default available policies, but they just get in the way if you know what you're doing. And so that the kid doesn't have to see a bunch of dead bodies, because we don't, our ideology does not like dead bodies. I'll have Icy just bury them all. Normally you wouldn't bury bodies because it adds to your colony value, but because we take off so frequently, it doesn't really matter if you bury people, because by the time you leave the map tile, it's a non-issue. So they punched out a light. Not a big deal. Lisk will replace the steel that we need for that. Use the Molotov? I could have. I just chose not to. I may want to increase the quality of our meals up. So I think what I'll do is start making carnivore-fied meals once we run out of the simple ones. Because we have had some mental break problems. Can you nature run? Hypothetically, yeah. Because, like, this area should be far enough away from the ship to allow for it. So he's on growth tier 1, which is pretty garbage. And he ages up in 1 year, which is not a lot of time to raise his growth tier. So it's not ideal. Microelectronics is done. So with microelectronics done, you guys did say I should go the smithing machining route, so I'll do just that. But I don't have the metals for the high-tech research bench just yet, so we need to do a fair bit of steel mining for that, which is what Lisk is working on. I must say, he has done a lot of floor drying. Kid's an artist. Bit of a graffiti artist, but artist all the same. Lisk, or not Lisk, Rylos. You're supposed to be teaching lessons, dude. So we can see his learning rate going up. And the other thing that would be good to do... Well, actually, I'm going to have you guys choose. What to build first? Research or comms. So one of the reasons to do comms is because I have microelectronics, Gideon will eventually have the radio talking learning need. And I don't actually have a radio for him to talk on, so getting a comms console might be wise. And either way, my plan is to put the comms console, like, let's say here, which means I need to change my layout around a little bit. So I'm going to put the other engines here. These engines are actually, you know what? Maybe what I could do, put the engines on the side, like side thrusters. Yeah, that'll work. And that way I don't have to constantly move them because the sides of the ships might change. And, alright, comms it is. So, build, comms, and then research bench. You got it. Do engines have to point in the same direction? Not as far as I know. It just counts the total amount, it doesn't count the direction. So you can get weird with it if you want. In fact, you could have a giant donut where all the engines point inwards, I think. Like, I don't think the game cares. I like to make crafts that are, like, reasonable looking. But if you want to build a flying saucer or a goofy donut, or a star, or what looks like a sailboat, I mean, you know, the sky's the limit. Imagination's the limit, right? So I'm only going to add this much to the back hall, and that will allow us for a few more shelving, and the comms console gives us a little bit more flexibility, but I'm not going to do any grand shipbuilding right now, because the reason is, if we want to take advantage of something like the grav field extender, that requires a lot of grav light panels. So it's really helpful to have a bunch of grav light panels available to you if, in fact, you want to use your grav cores for extensions, because the bigger things that you make with the grav tech, like you know, later on, require a lot of grav light panels. So, you know, burning them on a big fat ship and then losing the ability to make utilities is a bust. Deadlift and the cold snap. 11-year-old named Deadlift. What? Okay. Is calling for help. He is a baseliner. Sorry, dude. Would an extender fit in the chimney? It could. Extender is not necessarily the first thing I'm going to build, though. If I was to build an extender, I would likely break this part of the ship hull, or put it as far... Like, if you really want to use an extender, you could build an extender anywhere. Like, you could build it internal to your ship, and what that would do is it would increase your tile cap from 750 up from 500. But if you wanted to have access to more space, you could break this hull point, put the extender here, and just, like, enclose it again, right? I would say if you're going for a big ship, going for the max area from your core is ideal. So if I do a building extender, it's probably going to be here. It's kind of, I'm probably going to want to add, you know, panels and put it as far south as possible for the maximum amount of area gain. I remember reading stories about, I think it was the Titanic, that someone got, like, welded into the hull. And that's more or less what Icy just did to herself. I noticed. Icy. Not smart. Rylus, let's go for another work drive. You know what? I'm mining at a pretty good clip, and I might need combat command, so I'm going to actually hold off on that. Now, one of the issues that I have is I don't necessarily want a trade beacon built because it would allow pod drop raiders to drop on me. So I might build it and uninstall it or something like that so that it's not like a risk to the ship. We are ready for launch again. So let's get the comms console built, and then I'll ask you. Oh god. Maybe it's not even going to be a question. So these guys are the ones chasing Gideon. And yeah, I don't want to fight that. So let's not. I'm going to create a new zone here. And this zone is gonna be ship, or inside ship. Everybody but Lisk is going to be zoned to it. Lisk is just grabbing the steel that he had mined up. And let's leave these losers in the dust. Area 1 was Gideon's nature walking zone, which will get nuked in a second. Am I sure I want to launch the ship? I am sure. So we are headed to the Gravcore on an ice sheet. This is interesting and particularly bad for, and I should have mentioned this beforehand, particularly bad for Starjacks to do, but that's what you guys want. So the current priority right now is find the Gravcore in the ice sheet. And technically speaking, those virus lickers are dead. I mean, I didn't kill them, but the grav engine is destructive. It destroys the map tile behind it. So blasting off, I've like murdered them. Oh, never mind. This is not what I thought. So there is a mech relay known here. It is guarded by a Scyther, a bunch of Militors, and another Scyther. Got it. So is there resources here? No plasteel. What about ore? Gold ore. Here. And there's compacted machinery. What about compacted steel? There's compacted steel up here. So I think I'm going to put my landing zone in this nook. So here's the thing. I don't really want to get in a fight with Militors with a shield belt, and I don't really have the ability to make a shield belt, which means I think logically we're looking at taking our time and getting towards gun turrets so that I don't have to face tank a bunch of Militors, because I don't really have good weapons, right? So I can't like snipe them with assault rifles or something like that. I basically have more or less the same range they do, and I don't want to get overwhelmed and like murdered. Area 1 has just become the ship, so let's actually nuke that. Create an Area 1, and this zone is going to be for, you know what? Next to map edge is super sketch too. I wanted this to be Gideon's like nature running zone. I think we just have to take a risk, you know? His growth relies on him having access to the scary stuff. So we'll just allow it. But I don't feel that comfortable with it. We do have a comms console, so if he does have radio talk as a need, he can fulfill it. So right now he has lesson and reading. And I don't have any books, so that's another thing I'm going to want to procure. You guys are already saying, rip Gideon? Rude. I don't plan on getting him killed. In terms of what there is to hunt, there's literally just a Mega Sloth, so that's a nothing. So the plan now is build turrets for the mechs. So this is a grav relay. And in order to gain access to the Gravcore that the grav relay is protecting, you need to either hack or destroy the relay stabilizers. Hacking is safer, but takes longer. And I am in no way going to start hacking when it's currently guarded by mechs that will wake up, because then we'll just get ganked. Icy. Let's make some... Why isn't this working? Oh, you're locked to the ship. Duh. Let's go make some marble blocks. Because we can start tiling up our ship. Am I going to have enough biofuel? I already have tanks that are, like, pretty full. I've got, like, 400 fuel already. So, while the Megasloth... I'm going to hunt the Megasloth now, because I don't want to lose access to it. But, yeah, this is not a great place to refuel, being an ice sheet and all. Because there is the risk of, like, not having a ton of fuel to take off. Hopefully killing the Megasloth will encourage more animals to migrate in, though. Hopefully. We'll see. But there's virtually no sources of wood here either. How long can it last with a few source? You know, I've got 500 meat. So it's not terrible. But I think what I'll do is I'll turn off the biofuel refinery and not use any of our additional biofuel to let our meat stretch farther. Alright, another thing I wanted to do was to get the high-tech research bench, because that's going to allow us to gain access to the research we need sooner. So, I think... once I get 250 steel, I'll be kicking that off. Probably a poor use of wood, but it's going to help Lisk's mood out not being in darkness, so I'm going to use the last of our wood to illuminate the steel site. As far as turrets for the mechs go, obviously we're going to be sort of stuck with like basic steel turrets, even if I get turret tech. But that's fine. If they explode, they explode. I have resources that I can throw at this task. And I'll just constantly keep an eye on my wildlife meter to make sure that if I am granted access to, you know, if I all of a sudden have access to more wildlife, I'll hunt it. Alright, the other thing I wanted to do is a Kid Parka. Better than his Synthread Parka, because Synthread Parkers are not particularly warm. 33 Celsius, and I think we can make warmer. So the Kid Parka here... I will make out of heavy fur, and then the tail cap, I'll hold off on the tail cap for now. He already moves slow, so the thought here is I don't need him moving slow and then also getting hypothermia to be even slower. Getting used up all the fuel filling up the tanks, yeah, that's fine. It's not a problem at all. You can always eject fuel out of the tanks if you want them. Yeah, he's radio talking. Would stone traps help? They could. It'd be kind of hard to drive the mechs toward stone traps, but it would be possible. So think about that. If I walled here, and I walled here, we could form a trap corridor of stone traps. The caveat, however, is, of course, someone has to fire at them to wake them up. But I like that idea a lot, actually. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that. I mean, stone traps, the problem is they take so long to build, but we have, our people are such amazing constructors, because that's part of being a Starjack, is you're just amazing at construction, that, like, that's actually a pretty reasonable solution. So I think what I'll do is... this will be the last marble that I cut, and I'll start cutting sandstone, because sandstone you build fastest out of. Sandstone blocks have the shortest construction modifier. If you didn't know, every stone has its own perks. So, sandstone is the quickest to build, marble is the prettiest, granite's the toughest, and slate is a mix of, like, light and quick to build. Good for, like, art and the like. But not as good as marble. Lisk? He was like, oh yeah, yeah. You right? You want me to walk into the mix? What about limestone? Oh, good call. What is limestone best at? Limestone is like, sort of a mix of pretty and tough. It's kind of like halfway in between, granite and marble. So if you want a pretty stone for art that doesn't fall apart, it's not perfect. I'm just saying, like, every stone has their own stats. So, for instance, if you take a look at marble, it has a high beauty, but also a work to build, work to make, which is rather high. Whereas if you look at sandstone, it's not as beautiful as marble, but it has it has lower work to build and make. So it's quicker. And it's also lighter weight. So it's 1 kilogram per stone versus 1.25. So you can carry more sandstone. If I'm building walls, I don't really want the scythers to bash out my engines, so I'm going to start the walls like here. The other problem is the other engines on the other side are equally vulnerable, but I could uninstall them to hide them. Worst case scenario, we launch with what we've got. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And then to speed up the stone cut time, I'll just put the stone cutter inside. The light inside. Becoming cold inside? Yeah, let's capture the exhaust from a chimney. Good call. The current priority is set up traps and turrets for the relay. I don't... Basically, I don't want to roof up this area while we build there. So now with the infrastructure removed, I don't need to worry about the scythers bashing this stuff. That was the primary concern. Alright, this kid parka protects for 49 Celsius. Holy moly. Hey! Little Gideon. There you go. And then we should have enough for a tail cap, but like, does it even matter? Probably not. I think one more node of steel and we have enough for the research bench. Yes, we do. Armor stands are great, I agree. And what I could do in this case is build some marble ones here once we're done with some of the other projects. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, the Voidborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Voidborn.